Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Outerhaven Podcast, episode number 105. My name is Clinton Navigator Bowman, and I'm joined by two men who are here to talk about a little bit of controversy. Let's introduce first our Australian editor and all around research expert, Karl May Smart. Karl, what's going on, brother?
Triggers everywhere, niggas.
Oh Lord,
Here we go. All right, here we
you
go.
owe us $1. $1 goes in a jar.
With exchange rate, that's probably about $1.35. So okay.
And also, we have the editor in chief of the podcast, the website, everything that we do here.
Your life.
The IT guy that we all know and love, Keith Hacks Mitchell. Keith, what's going on, my man?
What's with you all of a sudden saying I'm joining with these men? Couldn't it be like I'm joining with these fine gentlemen or my peoples or something other than men?
I mean, I could.
People are going to start calling us sexist because all you ever have on the show are men.
Look, listen, yo, I told Liz to come on the show, but she doesn't want to, so it doesn't make a difference. You know, I extended the invitation, and we had Delilah on the show a couple episodes back, so don't do that.
Systematics, they don't care.
Don't do that.
There's enough females on the team.
So this podcast is sponsored by Bootios.
Who?
Remember, eat Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty.
That was terrible. Okay.
At least Mason knows the reference. Like, whatever.
Whatever, man.
All right, so I'm going to hand this off to Mace. We had a couple of things that went on, specifically Wednesday afternoon with the House of Mario. For those of you that don't know, that's Nintendo.
Here we go.
A certain employee was fired, and it caused an internet firestorm. What doesn't cause an internet firestorm nowadays? But this one was kind of big, and this one really split the gaming internet in half for the most part. And I know what side that we're on, but I want Mace to come in and throw out all the information since he did go info hunting late last night into early in the morning his time. So Mace, the floor is yours, bro.
But just to sort of quickly run down the situation for everybody, Alison Rap, who was a marketing specialist for Nintendo of America, has been in the middle of a bit of controversy with the group known as Gamergate, and some interesting facts found when people decide to go hunting. Now, straight out the gate, we do not condone doxing. We do not condone the actions of pretty much the hater side of Gamergate, and their involvement in this type of thing. But to pretty much try and get this done as quick as possible, it was found out that Allison had been moonlighting in a very not safe for work environment. We do not know exactly what it is, so we're not even going to try and speculate. All we can say is that going from what she has posted on her own personal Twitter account, which she does say that she is a part of Nintendo, is that some of the stuff that she has done, modeled, tried to sell, whatever, is very against Nintendo's very family-based principles. And that led to her termination because finally Nintendo decided to get around to checking out her Twitter feed, and then just saw all the stuff that she has posted. Now, she is a PR nightmare, posting a lot of things. Like, everybody knows by now that she did a essay basically saying that America should not put their imperialistic values on Japanese culture, especially in terms of how younger children are depicted in Japanese media. Now, a lot of people took that and ran with it as she is defending child pornography. Anyone who actually decided to sit there and read this essay will notice that it's more about one culture trying to enforce its values on another. But she did put out a couple of tweets where she actually defended a pedophile getting arrested. So let's not get that bit twisted. So you combine that with the moonlighting that she did as a second job to pay off her student debts that's against Nintendo's policies, and you get a very good shitstorm in which she can get fired. Now, the reason why this is creating controversy is because of the way most media outlets have handled it. You got places like Kotaku, NeoGAF, and stuff like that immediately when the story broke that she was fired, threw down the "it's all Gamergate's fault" narrative. You know, these people are a hate group. It's not about ethics in journalism. It's not about having integrity or anything. It is they hate women. They want to drive women out of gaming. When it came to light later, after a lot of these places broke the story that she was fired for moonlighting, especially after Nintendo themselves put out a comment to IGN stating the harassment that she got from Gamergate did not factor into the firing. A lot of these places just ignored that and kept pushing their narrative. So, in the end, just for too long didn't read, don't hide a job that goes against your main job's policies, because you will get got eventually. And that's all that's really happened here.
Pretty much.
I mean, a lot of it, the way I see it, is when she did openly state, that moonlighting was okay under Nintendo's policies, it wasn't, I mean, common sense would indicate that it's moonlighting where there is no conflict of interest. Would you agree on that one?
I wouldn't even say conflict of interest. The problem is, and part of this is still speculation or unknown, because we really don't know what that secondary job was. All you got is a lot of pictures, a lot of hearsay. You know, I think somebody mentioned what it may be on one of the forums I was frequenting today. But the problem with that is it's not conflict of interest, though that could play a factor in other jobs. It's, you know, Nintendo likely has a set policy of what is generally accepted. And the problem with that is, like I was trying to explain to people earlier, it doesn't make a difference. If I'm employed at Nintendo and Nintendo says I'm against, let's say hypothetically, we don't allow you talking about Sega. And I'm like, oh, well, Sega's the best. Sega's the bomb. Sega. And I'm not doing it on company hours. I'm not doing it on Nintendo grounds. But Nintendo comes back and says, oh, we heard you were talking about Sega. Didn't we tell you that Sega was not allowed? Get the freak out. They told me from the get-go this wasn't allowed, and I did it.
Which is pretty much what Alison Rap pretty much did. By her own admission. Mace, you were the one that actually did the research and actually went in and investigated. And she stated that after a month after she started, she was asked not to tweet about rape culture because it could, quote unquote, become a big story.
Right.
And she fought it, and then she also fought when she wasn't allowed to stream games while other employees were. And she was consistently made to worry that getting another tattoo or piercing would mean they'd pull her from public appearances, which all really falls in line for most companies, if not all companies, especially when someone is in a position of public relations.
Well,
Yeah,
we can't. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to public relations, and I've said this probably a million times, a lot off the podcast more than on it, image is king. Okay? Now, when you get into this type of thing, because you are in a PR or a marketing strategist role, your every word is now property of the company. Okay, so that includes social media, especially nowadays, with social media being such a powerful tool that it is. Now, when it comes to her talking about rape culture and Nintendo saying, please don't do that, that's her warning.
Right.
Now, I can tell you now, there is no company on the planet that wants to hear the words rape culture in terms said by anyone on their PR staff. Because if you say the wrong thing, you represent the wrong fact, you put out a wrong opinion, it comes back on the company, not the individual. So that's why she was told, please don't do that. And she wanted to fight it because, that's what people in this specific mindset like to do. They don't want to be told, hey, try looking out for everybody else. They're like, no, me, me, me. So she fought it. She lost. And part of that would have been that she would have lost certain privileges that come along with a PR position. Now, a lot of PR people... Yeah, as I'm explaining. A lot of PR people get certain privileges. With Nintendo staff, I'm going to assume that one of those privileges is the ability to stream games and put out videos and stuff like that. Now, because of her thoughts and views, that right was taken away from her, which is fair enough. Because, again, if she's going to fight and say you can't control me, then if she was to be streaming Super Mario Maker, and all of a sudden she starts talking about rape culture on a stream, everybody turns around and goes, wow, okay, now we're associating Nintendo with rape culture. And that's the type of thing that they don't want. As for the tattoos and piercings, again, it's image. When you're representing a company, they want you to look businesslike. And having a lot of piercings and tattoos openly visible to people is never a good look for any company. So, that's standard operating procedure. Yes, it is a bit fear-based. It is a bit wrong because you should have the ability to, pierce, tattoo, modify whatever the hell you want on your body. But again, you have to look at the larger repercussions than just what you want. I'm about to go into a government job, which means, I wouldn't be allowed to be walking around saying negative stuff while I'm wearing my government ID. I wouldn't be able to walk around with my tattoos showing at a government event. That's the type of thing you got to watch out for in these type of situations. And the fact that she didn't want to adhere by that probably got her more than one warning at Nintendo.
By her own admission, she admits that she did get a few warnings by her own admission. And what bothers me about the whole deal with Alison Rap is, going into it openly. She states that, when she was on her honeymoon, she got back from her vacation and Nintendo did strip her of her spokesman status and did a lateral move so she wouldn't lead games as a PM anymore, project manager anymore. So she did get her punishment for what she said.
Yeah. And again, this comes back to someone in a PR position needs to be very careful about what they say, especially on their personalized social media accounts. And, even worse, if you actually say in your description, I am an employee of Nintendo of America.
Or whatever country, whatever company.
A lot of large companies nowadays and government agencies and, public service jobs will actually ask you, do you have a Twitter? Do you have a Facebook? Is it publicly available to be seen? Is anything protected? And if you're publicly putting out your tweets, the company will eventually get around to checking your social media.
Yes,
now,
sir.
because of all the harassment and everything that came at her from Gamergate, Nintendo finally took the move that they probably should have taken when they hired her and checked her social media account. Now they found the things like the mentions of rape culture. They found her talking about her college thesis, which is extremely controversial. And also posting a personalized wish list. Now, because she is an employee of a very highly recognizable company, putting something like a wish list out there saying, hey, can people buy me this? There could be a lot of corruption and certain allegations that can be put around by
Yep.
other companies. Hey, if we buy you something off your wish list, you're going to help us get a review copy of the game, or you want to try and get us these secrets from Nintendo or something. And again, it's Nintendo covering their butts. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with what Nintendo have done. Personally, I wish they would have done it a lot sooner, especially for someone as outspoken and outright defiant as she has been.
Right. I think a lot of the issue that I'm seeing with her, is that she didn't understand. She didn't understand. I don't think she was prepared for. I mean, maybe she was prepared for a PR position. Maybe she did get the training. Maybe she did work PR before. It's just that you come into this and you do everything that a PR person normally wouldn't do, and then you get punished for it, and you want to play the victim almost immediately.
Yeah, that's the problem that bothers me. I mean, there's two things that fall here. Like May said, Nintendo should have did their due diligence when they hired her. I agree, and also she was in that role. She should have known what she was getting into when she was made PR. PR is a face of a company. That's it, and it's no different than her or anybody else who's involved in PR. If I say, I know XYZ, and XYZ is the PR manager of a certain company, that's the person that most people that public go to.
And
When
even
you
then,
go ahead.
and even then, to bring a sports or a wrestling kind of reference, I'll bring sports. Imagine if LeBron James was caught or Steph Curry was caught cheating on his wife. Imagine if John Cena was caught
No,
doing
that's
some
that's not
scrupulous
that's not
things.
that's not even say that. That's go show examples when they were caught. When Michael Jordan, when Kobe Bryant, and look what happened to them. All hell broke loose.
Exactly.
Well, to bring it back around, and to bring up the very poignant point of moonlighting activities, she went into these activities expecting Nintendo to never check and never get caught. She admits by her own tweets that she started moonlighting under a fake name with no real identifiers. Somebody was able to find out that it was her. They handed over the information to a very noted foundation that
You know what? I
carries
want to say something.
a lot of sway.
I want to say something on that one. And you, I'm not gonna say that you're stupid, Allison, if you ever do hear this or somebody gets it out to you. But there's a big problem with having tattoos. They're very noticeable. If you have a tattoo and somebody's seen it on you before at an event or something, and then happen to see something else that you're associated with, people can put one and one together, guy or gal. That's not hard.
People.
Yeah, and the fact that she went into this and she tried to make it as anonymous as possible means she knew she was doing something against Nintendo's policies.
Man, she was being shady as
And
fuck.
yeah, and she was. It's the old Scooby-Doo style reference. I wouldn't have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those damn kids.
Those meddling kids.
She got caught, pure and simple, and she's trying to make it out that. And to quote one of her own tweets, do you think if the industry wasn't afraid of women, sexual positivity, etc., that the non-moonlighting I did would have been a problem?
Well, you can go back and blame those other women feminists that don't like that whole thing that you're saying should be going on in the game industry. Go blame them, because those are the biggest advocates against that. So go bitch at those people while you're at it.
What makes it even worse, getting back to that, you look at everybody that's jumping the gun, that had basically jumped the gun, and stated that Nintendo's in the wrong. I mean, you take one look at two of the biggest, defenders of Brianna. I spoiled it already. Alison Rap and Brianna Wu and the feminist frequency movement. You hear Brianna Wu coming in, and it should be noted that Brianna Wu is a liar, has been outed as a liar on several different occasions about this whole thing. Nintendo of America fires Alison Rap for being targeted by Gamergate, which wasn't the case.
Yeah, and that's been the biggest problem behind all this. is that we are suddenly seeing the exact same problem that spawned the Gamergate hashtag
In
community
the
group
first
whatever
fucking
in the
place.
first place, where sites are pushing a narrative over reporting the facts. And the facts have come out that she was fired because of a moonlighting job. Her moonlighting job is against Nintendo's policy. It'd be against a lot of places' policies. And the fact that she got caught, yes, it was by a sort of probably one of the worst ways, by somebody having to dox the information and everything else. But she still got caught. And all it would have taken is somebody at Nintendo finally doing their job properly, someone in HR, and going over, okay, saying, can I get your social media? I need to do a check. And if they checked her timeline for probably the last 2 years, they would have found it. She would have got caught eventually. It just so happens that somebody smarter was able to check it before Nintendo did.
Not even somebody smarter. It's just that somebody was more vigilant on that shit.
And keep in mind.
But then all of a sudden, because a lot of media places, mainstream and gaming related, like to push this narrative of Gamergate as a hate group. They hate women. They want to push women out of
they do the
video
same
games,
thing about
blah,
they
blah,
do the same
blah.
thing about Black Lives Matter and other things like that. So it's
Yeah.
like,
They want to push those type of narratives and everything as an us versus them situation, and that's what it's about. Kotaku did an article that was pretty much just another stock standard Gamergate hate piece.
because
When it
fuck
came
you, Patrick
to
Klepek.
light, and when it came to light that Nintendo put out their comment about the moonlighting and everything, it just got slapped on the piece, and then it was like nothing changed. Nobody ever went back and said, okay, maybe we should pull this article and see how this changes everything. No, we want to push our narrative rather than just report the facts.
Like in the same respect, I'll put it like this. Same day, same day. An award-winning news anchor in Pennsylvania had got fired after posting a racially insensitive Facebook message. On Facebook, pretty much on her anchor Facebook page, which is her company Facebook page. Need to be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts 2 weeks ago Wednesday. They are young black men, likely in their teens or in their early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. These boys have been in the system before. They've grown up there. They know the police. They've been arrested. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when somebody says that, when somebody actually says that, and she got fired for it, and this is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nobody really said anything negative or positive. Like, well, she fucked up. But when it comes to someone like Alison Rap, you've seen all these people come out
Because it's pushing an agenda. That's the whole thing. This whole game industry is ripe for controversy. It's just like another example.
Yeah.
Tons of teachers are putting explicit pictures of themselves. Maybe they're doing stripping outside of the job, they're dancing, etc., etc. Nothing to do with their teaching profession. They could be the best damn teacher in the world.
In other words, being a bikini model while being a paraprofessional at the same time, like, yeah, because that's the thing.
And somebody gets wind of it, oh, you're fired.
Same
thing.
Usually that happens to women because honestly, like a dude, like the world's sexiest teacher, apparently got a job as an Armani model, and it's like, oh, that I see. I don't like those double standards. You know what I'm saying? But in the same respect, this is not the same as those situations. This is pretty much you moonlighting. You did something wrong, and then also a bunch of people are defending her for doing something wrong. That's a problem.
No, before we go any further, we all want to say we don't advocate somebody losing their job, but
No.
right and
Keith,
fair is right and fair.
Keith,
No.
Speak for yourself because I don't advocate people losing their job if they did nothing wrong. If
Right.
you know you were doing something wrong, yeah, you deserve to lose your job, and I want to take your job at that point because I will do a better job than you at this.
Here's the thing: we need to know. Well, I really don't care, but we really need to know.
Journalistically, we need to know.
We need to know what you were doing outside of your job, and what was Nintendo's actual policy as to what you were doing. Because
You know,
that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wants out of this.
Nintendo's not going to give that information up, and
Right.
Allison's not going to give that information up. So
Exactly.
as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not trying to be biased, Allison's still in the wrong. Like in an unbiased fashion, Allison's still in the wrong. Like for it. And she's more in the wrong because she immediately comes out and plays the victim card. She doesn't give Nintendo a chance to say what the Nintendo got to say. She just basically puts all the leverage, knowing that people will come to her defense like a bunch of white knights trying to get the pussy. Like real shit.
Well, I told you, just wait. She's gonna have a Patreon page, and she's gonna make 3 times what she made Nintendo.
No, and you know what? I'm gonna call that shit out too.
No, hold on. Here's the thing. Only hours after all this broke, and she went and started saying her pieces about Nintendo and everything. She actually had, and I looked, 4 job offers made publicly via Twitter to go and work with other companies.
Huh.
And you know what? I probably wouldn't buy shit from those companies because they're just doing it on.
You think they're doing it? You think they're doing it despite?
Yeah, they're doing it despite Nintendo, of course.
Well, actually, they're doing it for the attention that brings. If there was one thing that I would quote former WCW president Eric Bischoff for, is the phrase "controversy creates cash." Now, if she goes on to another company and they put out a thing that they got, former Nintendo employee Alison Rap, all of a sudden, all eyes are going to be on that company.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
There was one company that turned around and said, "Oh, we had a project ready for Wii U, and we're not going to do it now." But if you actually looked at the company, they create friggin' shovelware for the PS Vita. And they're a nobody company, but they put that out. Why? Because it gets them attention.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as this other company that I'm blanking out on the name again. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out on his name again. But yeah, another company was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do it either."
Oh well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like to put a nice little cap on this. If you go into a job where you're working for a big company that has a very family-friendly image, and it was put out there on Twitter that Nintendo are pretty much the Disney of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, big family-friendly image that always needs to be upheld. That's the image the company wants. If you go into a company like that, especially in a role where you are a PR person, in other words, you are the public face of that company.
You're the freaking John Cena of that company. Like, let's be real. Like,
yes, thank you, Clint. Can I finish my thought, please?
I apologize. I'm sorry.
If you're going to go out there and then you go and get a second job that you know is against your main job's policies and image, you are going to get caught eventually, and you are going to get fired. You don't do dumb shit, you'll be fine. You do dumb shit, you're gonna get got. That's pretty much what's happened in this case, and unfortunately the media decided to push a narrative over the facts yet again, and that's why this thing blows up as the way it has.
So yeah, that being said, there's another controversy that came about the day before involving Blizzard.
This one pisses me off more than
booty rocking everywhere. Booty rocking
okay,
everywhere.
enough for that.
No more, but all right, so one of the characters in Overwatch, Tracer, was featured, and she had a pose where she's kind of looking over her shoulder and her booty's all out, and it's like, okay.
No, let's be honest. Her booty isn't out. The problem is that she showed her ass crack. You could see her ass crack, and that was the problem.
So is that really an issue?
You see that every day with people walking down the street wearing sweatpants, tight clothes. I'm just adding to this.
My man said sweatpants, no jeggings.
No jeggings, sweatpants, tight-fitting clothes, etc., exercise pants. You see this everywhere. This is accepted day to day that you see on females, and
males as much as you don't want to see
I'm not
that.
looking at men's ass. Sorry.
I don't know if a dude.
You want me?
if a
You want
dude
me
was
to cut
like,
that out? You want me to cut that out? I don't think you want me. I don't look at men's ass. Just saying. Just saying.
like, look, no. All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. You know, you know, it's funny. Like I don't get how this was a thing. Keith, because I know you were the one that like brought this all up to us.
Yeah.
So
So
give us the info.
So what happened was there was a post on Blizzard's forum about the new poses. The guy came out and said, "Hey, I love Tracer. I think she's one of the best characters Blizzard's done in Overwatch. She does this. She's fun. She's loving. She has a charming personality, etc., etc. But this, why did she have this? Why did she have to push her ass out and all of a sudden be subjected to a sexual object in a game? And I have a problem with this because my daughter idolizes this character. Why did Blizzard have to do this? Blah blah blah. She's not Widowmaker, who was obviously the sex object of the game. Why did you have to do this to Tracer? It was unneeded. So everybody started questioning this person and say, so you don't have a problem with Widowmaker, like this sex goddess, but because Tracer pushes out her ass and you see her butt crack when she does an over the shoulder pose, which actually does happen when you kind of contort your body that way, then it's a problem. And
Man,
what's
natural human contortion. That's a thing.
and what's more is she had an issue. She or he, I don't know what the person's sex is. All I know is her name flips. Had a problem saying, "Well, my daughter idolizes this person. I think this is wrong." And I'm like, wait, you have a problem that a video game character, a virtualized character, pushes out her ass a little bit. And you see her ass crack just a little bit in between her butt, but you don't have a problem with the fact that your little girl is playing a game where you shoot people.
And isn't this game rated T for teen though?
It is rated T for teen. So why the hell are you even letting your kid play this game, yet alone look at this game? That's parenting 101. You're fucked up. Don't get mad. And I'm saying it as a parent. You made a mistake. You're screwing up. It's no different than if I was to take my 7-year-old son to go see Deadpool. It's an R-rated movie. Why would I do that? Oh,
funny you mentioned that example. Actually, I picked up I got a couple of free movie tickets here for me and my little brother. Right, I said to him, I opened up the page of movies that are out right now, and I said, pick one. Or what you want to see. He went through. He got it down to 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I want to see that.
Batman versus Superman, Zootopia, and Deadpool.
Zootopia is actually really good.
Yeah, and the second he pointed at Deadpool, I said, there is no way in hell I am letting you watch Deadpool. He's only 13. So there's no way, no, I'm going to allow him to walk into an R-rated film. R ratings here being 18 plus. Batman vs Superman, it's recommended 15 years or older. He's 13. Hell, I was watching M-rated movies at 15. At 13. So that's not so bad. In the end, he picked Zootopia. So, good on him. But, that's the type of thing, when
Even
it comes down to it, ratings are there. Sure, ratings are a guideline, but they're there for a reason. Like, I see so many, how many 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids are playing The Division, Call of Duty, and stuff like that.
Dude, I was just about to get to that because on Saturday when I came from the doctor, I said I wanted to go pick up NCAA basketball 2010 because, March Madness and all that fun stuff. And I see a parent walk in, standing in line with me, and I'm looking at the kid and what the game had. The game he had in his hand was Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox One, and I'm like, why do you even? I'm thinking in the back of my head, why do you even have that game? And the lady at the counter didn't even say anything. So I'm sitting on there like,
and then legally they're supposed to ask.
And again, using my little brother as an example. He wanted games last Christmas for his Xbox. Now, he wanted Grand Theft Auto 5. I said, no way in hell. Mind you, I did go out and get him Grand Theft Auto 4, which was of a lower rating.
That was rated what, T?
I believe it was your T. It was our MA 15 plus, which is hard recommendation of 15 years or over.
Okay.
But I played that game enough times. I know that like the content within it isn't gonna be any damaging shit to him.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Lamar, like knock, like things like that. But yeah, like
the redneck guy in Grand Theft Auto 5's enough to earn that
oh
hard rating.
yeah.
But
Trevor,
anyway,
yeah.
Keith, sorry, we've totally distracted you off the topic. So
Oh no,
please
no.
continue the recap.
So the consensus was, a lot of people stated that they didn't think that was right. Why are you making this out to be a sexual object thing where the whole problem was you're letting a child play a teen rated game. Flips didn't see the error of his or her way. People kept asking. So Blizzard got involved directly and stated, well, we were kind of looking at getting rid of this pose before because we weren't sure if it fit the game, yada, 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 and it got removed. Now, my beef with this is this. If you were already thinking about removing this pose, then fine. If you already thought that it was bad for the game, then you're in the same position as Capcom. We made these characters to be a certain way, and all of a sudden the public outcry is we don't think these people are acceptable the way they're doing something or look. So, we'll fix that because, we don't want people saying bad shit about our game. And then you come back and say, oh, it's because of rating. Like Capcom, who said we changed our Mika's butt slap because of the rating. Come to find out, it was because people bitched. But yet, Laura's in the game, has a different costume, looks worse than she did before. And when I say worse, I mean better. Cammy looks different for more of a better outlook. Chung-Li looks better, even though they finally removed her jiggly breast physics for
But
second
I'm
player.
sorry. But I'm sorry. That alternate Laura costume.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. So you're backtracking on what you said. It was a reason why you took it out, but now you backtrack on that. So back to Blizzard. So Blizzard did this. They took it out. Fine. But if, like I said, if you were planning on doing it, then I get it. But if you did it because somebody had an issue, then the problem lies with that person or persons and you. Because all you do if you backtrack because somebody has an issue with your design is you shit on your content creators. You're basically telling them you don't have freedom to do what you want to do because somebody complains, we'll take your work and we'll make you change it. That sends a bad signal to your in-house development team. That is bad. If I'm going to do all this work and do all these great animations and then you come back, oh, well, this AO lady said she doesn't like this, or this transsexual person said they don't like this, or this lesbian couple says I don't like that, or this guy says, well, I don't like this. Anybody. And I gave all different examples, and you're like, change it. Well, what does that tell me? I wasted my time. You caved in because somebody said you didn't like it. Everybody's bitching about Nintendo. Well, how about Blizzard stick to their content creators? Tell them that we stand by your work. So, yeah, all around, we got Nintendo, and then we got Blizzard caving in. And I didn't think there was anything wrong. I've seen worse. Chung-Li, come on, guys, really? We've seen Chung-Li and Mai and Lara Croft for God knows how many freaking years. Really?
Yo, shouts out to King of Fighters 14 for keeping everything that's good about King of
Really?
Fighters.
The only
and
reason
King of
we're
Fighters.
doing all this crap now because we got all these so-called women feminist groups complaining about X, Y, Z, and this, that, and the third now. Give me a break.
Oh, if they change my Laura, not my Shiranui, I'm gonna have problems. I'm probably gonna end up in jail. Like I'm gonna let you know this right now.
We got one instance where one person's complaining that maybe we shouldn't be afraid of our sexuality, and then we got another one where people are like, well, she's too sexual. What the what? What? You want this, you want that, we can't decide on which one is what. How about we all just shut the fuck up and let it go? I'm done. Said my piece.
I mean, you said that, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm confused with life.
It's the classic example. We need to have our cake and eat it too. Wait, huh? That doesn't work. So whatever. It is what it is. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm getting this vibe. Like it's funny. I had a discussion about the idea of female people being surprised that female gaming is females that game exist.
You talked about this briefly. We talked about this, and
yeah, and I'm saying
and I told you I don't think you need to elaborate on that just because you're giving those idiots ammunition. It shouldn't make a difference if you're a man or a woman playing video games. It should not make any damn difference.
But from a media critique standpoint, and I'll tell you this because it's all about agency in the media and agency as a consumer. Yeah, there's people that are still surprised that females game because, they grew up with the idea of gaming is for kids or gaming is for boys or gaming is for men.
That shit
And
died
my
out
thing,
just like when they say comics were
should
for
have.
kids or cartoons are for kids. What?
It should have. That's what I'm saying. It should have died out. But what I'm trying to say is this. Instead of ridiculing these people, we need to educate these people and let them know that, hey, you're wrong, but I'm not mad at you for being wrong because you just didn't know. Like we can't force a change on the people. We have to actually kind of like encourage them to see what we see and things like that. Ain't no justification behind it, and ain't no just letting people be people. You're not gonna let people be people, but you're gonna make a conscious effort, to not be elitist. You're gonna make a conscious effort to not be egocentric about this, because Mace, imagine if you were in that same situation, and Keith, imagine if you were in that same situation where a girl is surprised that you game because Keith, you look like a dude that watches sports. I'm gonna be real.
And I'd be like, I do anything else, and people are like, I don't see why you do X, Y, and Z. I give a fuck what you think.
Exactly. People look at me as like, why do you still watch wrestling? It's fake. And I'm like, what? No.
Why do you still watch wrestling? Isn't that shit fake?
Shut up.
Why do you still watch TV shows? That shit's fake. Why do
It's
you
all
watch movies?
fake.
That shit's fake.
Why are
Why
we
do
even
you-
alive? This
Why
is
do you
all
play video
fake.
games?
We're all in the Matrix. Come on, guys. This is all fake.
That's all I'm saying. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like things like that. Like I could say, shut up, Keith, because we all joking, but in the same respect.
Colonel Sanders says we're in the Matrix. I believe Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders is the man. But that being said, we shouldn't be surprised, but we also have to know that simply mindsets don't change with the date change. Mindsets change with people being exposed to things, and we have to be aware of that. There's no, this is 2016, none of that. We have to expose people to more things. This is why eSports is getting such exposure now. And it's not for the reasons you would think. The companies are starting to see that eSports makes money. Why do you think ESPN is putting so much money into eSports? You know what I mean?
I was going to ask you to define esports, but I won't touch on that.
Well, in terms of like League of Legends, Smash Brothers, all like Counter-Strike, those type of games that ESPN is now putting a focus on. So,
Esports, a competition based around a prize pool that is usually involving a electronic medium.
No. That's not what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to the divide that is known as esports, where people don't associate certain things as esports. That's what I was trying to get to. But that works.
Yeah. That comes from perceptions.
yeah,
Yeah,
how
there's
a lot
still
of people.
there's still the perception out there that video games, comic books, and any other geek style media are kids mediums, even though that they haven't been aimed at kids for the past 2 decades.
And even the ones,
really wouldn't count.
you know what?
Same thing with esports. Esports is picking up steam because the generation that is starting to come into effect is based around video games and stuff like that. But the old guard, the baby boomers, the Gen Xers and so forth, they always equate sports with football and baseball and stuff like that.
Ain't nobody cares about baseball anymore.
Yet it's been proven through many a research facility that esports is just as competitive and also as involved mentally and physically as a lot of old school ball sports.
Not gonna lie, you probably sitting down there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. You better be in shape.
I'm in a shape. Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. Thick is a shape.
Wait, what? What's the shape?
Thick.
What school did you go to? That's a description. Jesus. You say you got to educate these people, and you give them wrong examples. Stop that.
Yo, I can troll once in a while. That being said, any final thoughts before we end this podcast? Obviously, we also had a reveal of a video game date and a grandiose event which included anime episodes and a cover of a classic Benny King song.
And only 80 copies of a limited game in a certain country, and
Yeah, I know.
cats and dogs living together.
And a cover by a Boston band of a Benny King song. I'm gonna be on that. I don't like that cover.
For further information, make sure you stay tuned to the outerhaven.net for all the Final Fantasy 15 coverage, because we're covering that like we're covering Dark Souls 3 with like gigantic blankets that are covered in bodily fluids.
I was about to say you was about to say asbestos. I was like, what?
Blankets of asbestos. Be sure to get your cancer here.
Look, listen.
I'm
gonna be on that.
Let's just say with Dark Souls 3, Keith has a lot of tissues by his computer, and with Final Fantasy 15, multiple people on our staff have the same type of thing.
And I am just here waiting on Persona 5.
I don't have any tissues next to my computer because I don't have a copy for it on my computer. I have it on the Xbox right now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it straight out. I'm still on that. Listen, I like Florence and the Machine. They're a good band. I appreciate it. A band based out of Boston. They did a cover of "Stand By Me." I don't like that cover. The cover to me sucks. Like the way they did it blows, and I'm like, dude, it could have just went and got the Benny King version.
And just quickly, I sat there, I watched the Final Fantasy 15 reveal event. That you'll hear probably a lot more detail on Sony centric this week. That having that song playing during the trailer changed the tone of the entire game, the way you looked at it. It went from being an open world action RPG to being one of those soppy, road travel discovery movies that just are terrible.
In other words, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how that changing one music clip in it has just changed the entire perception of it.
Part of me is thinking about taking the original Benny King version, right, and just putting it on there and just seeing how it works.
Even doing that wouldn't help, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have more coverage of that on the outerhaven.net. I know Sony Centric is going to be doing a lot on it this week, so if you want to hear more about Final Fantasy 15, make sure to check them out this upcoming week. I think we're
going to be streaming the beta too.
Yep.
So, not the beta, the demo. Excuse me. So
the platinum demo that was released recently that's probably crashed stores. As for the collector's edition thing, as I put up on the outerhaven.net, Australia only gets 80 copies for the entire country out of 30,000. Now, another store has opened up. They opened up pre-orders for their allotment. I believe they got another 80, so that's 160 copies out of 30,000 that are going to make its way to Australia, and at least 80 of those have been sold out within 60 seconds. And the chance to upgrade from the deluxe edition to the collector's edition via EB Games is going to be decided on Tuesday.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I did the math. That is less than 0.5%.
Yeah, and the thing is, the pricing. I will reveal that the pricing in the US was $269.99.
And can you believe that two knuckleheads on our site jumped to get that?
Yeah, because they were there as the pre-orders went up, and they both got their pre-orders.
Yeah, but $270 though. I'm sorry, I can't see myself doing that for any collector's edition.
Nope. Well, and here's the basic reasoning for that is because they've got a Playarts Kai figure, and those things aren't cheap. As for Australian pricing,
I mean, you're right.
I'm predicting $400 plus.
No, man, thank you.
Man, yo, my wallet is like, fuck you, man. You keep it closed.
Yeah, my wallet's going. No.
That's a lot of money for a game, a soundtrack, a toy. No thanks.
My wallet's like, boy, if you open me to go get that, I will kick your ass. You are not going to PAX this year. And I wouldn't want that.
But yeah.
So yeah, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to catch myself, Keith, and Jason Kwasnicki in Boston.
He said, "Don't call him Jason Kwasnicki." He said, "Call him Silent Quas." Silent Quas.
Jason Kwasnicki. You know, catch us all at PAX East this April 22nd. We'll be there from the 21st. So if you see us wandering around Cambridge, pretending like we go to MIT, yeah, come say hi.
No, don't come say hi. Leave me alone. Let me dream that I was MIT.
Yeah, because we're gonna be like we're staying right behind MIT. So I'm like, I was pleased. Right,
pleased as pie.
Right, pleased as pie. Right behind MIT and like 15 minutes away from Harvard. It's like the dream. Like I'm sitting on there. I blend in, kind of.
So technically, Clinton, you're going to Harvard?
Yeah.
He
Finally,
wishes.
some good education.
Aww.
So I mean, that being, we're gonna be there the whole weekend. Things that we can say. We'll get a chance to play with the HyperX new Cloud Revolver headset. Oh man, that thing looks promising.
You don't play with headsets. You listen to headsets.
I want to see how it feels on my head, my big Afro adorned head.
That sounds wrong on so many different levels.
That's your fault. Your mind out the gutter.
My mind is never in the gutter. I'm the realistic person here.
Go play Dark Souls.
I am already playing it now.
Karl, go play Dark Souls.
I'm playing it already. I've been
Karl?
playing it.
Is your name Karl?
Karl. I could be anybody right now. I'm playing Dark Souls. I don't care who I am.
I can play Dark Souls. I got a copy.
I got a copy too.
I can play Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, but I didn't have to be naughty and get mine from Japan, Keith.
I didn't get mine from Japan. I'm playing the American version.
America. With how does the day one day one patch treat you though?
It definitely ramped up the difficulty. It definitely is a lot harder. I'm on New Game Plus. That means I've beaten it twice.
Does it run at a solid 30 frames a second now?
It still does not. No, it does not. No.
So in other words, we upped the difficulty, but those frames are just too hard for us to fix.
Yeah, I'm still seeing stuttering and a lot of drop frames when shit gets hairy.
And this is on the Xbox One. This is on the Xbox One version. I want to hear how.
Oh, the PC version. The PC version runs like a dream. Everybody says.
Yeah, but then Namco basically put out like, stop tweeting content.
They said stop doing that, right? And then I logged into Twitch today, and I was like, oh, look at all these people still streaming. Ha! Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's listening to you.
You
don't fuck with you.
All they did was just screw themselves with this release. That's all they did.
Hard.
I told y'all, you start dicking off the people that support you, and you got these streamers that are like, we don't care about you because we got 500 people, 300 people, 1,000 people looking at my stream and making me money. Fuck, I'm gonna listen to you for? You mess with my money. And when you mess with people's money, they're like, well, we're not listening to you anymore. Sorry.
Especially since he was a hood dude. You mess with a hood dude's money, son. Gats will be blasting.
I told you, Namco. I told you this shit was gonna happen. You didn't believe me.
Oh, fantastic. Oh man. That being said, final thoughts, guys, before we get on out of here.
Don't do dumb shit, and dumb shit likely won't happen to you. Unless you're me.
Unless you're me. All right.
Because dumb shit happens to me regardless if I do anything wrong or not.
Like I'm just looking at everybody streaming the platinum demo right now. It's hilarious.
I need to play it. I haven't played a Japanese role-playing game in quite some time.
What was the last Japanese role-playing game I actually played? Oh, Valkyria Chronicles. That's a thing.
That's not really a role-playing game.
Tactical role-playing game.
Yes. That's not a straight role-playing game, so it's a little different.
Well, technically, the last Japanese role-playing game that I've actually played...
Wrap it up, son!
Was Lost Dimension.
You said Last Dimension.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky, remember these 2 words. Go home.
I thought
I'm
that
not-
was Guile.
I'm not The Rock. I know how to wrap it up.
Okay, Mr. T, stop talking about your mom.
Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we're gonna get going because the WWE Hall of Fame and NXT and all that fun stuff. So
Wrestling.
Snoop Dogg, Celebrity Hall of Fame. Let's do this.
Who?
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, okay.
Snoop
Yeah, have fun with that.
Dizzle. All right, yo.
Yeah, quick final thoughts. Batman vs Superman sucks. Deal with it.
Wow.
But
No.
Justice League versus Teen Titans has a
Did not
Sailor Moon
suck.
So
reference.
good.
Has a Sailor Moon reference.
All right, we're done.
That's
Get
so
the fuck
good.
out. Everybody, good night.
For Keith and Karl, this is Clinton Bowman, man. Catch y'all live next week for the Outerhaven Podcast, episode 106. We out.
Goodbye.